Photography is a language and it has a grammar, just like using, writing poems or writing short stories. There's a certain grammar which you cannot really escape. And it's a simple grammar. It's a grammar of light and darkness. It's a grammar of changing 3 dimensions into 2 dimensions. And I think that's kind of a big hurdle because you're changing the world into something flat. And you have to know how it will appear as it is flattened out. So you have to recognize the different layers in the photograph in order to achieve something that's clean and simple and direct. So much of photography is what you leave out, and without getting rid of the noise, say of visual noise of things that you don't need in the photograph. Because you want the viewer to understand immediately what you're trying to say. But again, it's not an exact thing. I think the essence of a good photograph is the mystery, that we don't know what exactly the photographer wants to say, but we have a feeling about it. The photographer connects some disparate things, like a poem might also connect disparate things, and it basically distills language. It distills things. Photographers should be able to distill visual information in order to give you only what's needed in the photograph to have this emotional resonance. Well, I just attach myself to simple things, and I really love the term that Roland Barthes came up with, punctum. He would just find something interesting in the photograph. And for me also, I want to find something that's odd, that makes me want to keep looking at the photograph. There was a wonderful, I think he reproduced a Diane Arbus photo that was taken in New Jersey, and this girl had a Band-Aid on her finger, and I thought, and that's what he honed in on. He thought, that's interesting, I want to look at that thing. I don't know why, but it intrigues me. It presents some mystery. So when I'm thinking about what photos I would use in a book, I'm thinking, what keeps me looking at the photo? And I really like the feet, the girl's feet and the cow's feet. They kind of look pretty much the same. This is a geometric photo. I mean, for me, it's all about geometry and emotion and a lot of things that I look for in pictures. And I usually find the place that I like to photograph and stay there and wait for a moment. So I'm putting the rectangle around what I like, and I'm sort of waiting for the geometry to be perfected. In something like this, of course, we have, it's a training camp in Kazakhstan, and we have these pull-up bars that have become rectangles and squares. So I'm using that sort of as a way to create composition and geometry. And then, of course, we place on top of that the people doing that. I wouldn't be satisfied with just showing you the bars of, these things, but it needs some kind of humanness. And so there was a training exercise, and I was waiting, of course, for separations of things. So, and the way that this half over here is almost like the same person in time doing a kind of a sit-up on the bars. And so we're always looking for repetition of form, geometry, and separation and emotion. So that's what I was talking about seeing things two-dimensionally, not having things stick out of people's heads so much, and trying to find a balance, a visual balance that makes us want to keep looking at the photograph. I think people are, visual literacy is kind of innate in people. You can learn what you're looking at and be more informed, but you might be able to intellectualize it because you go to school and learn about these things, or someone tells you about these things. Yet, these things are pretty innate. Once that good photo comes, everybody knows it. Everyone sparks up and says, that's good. I remember being at Thanksgiving dinners 10 or 15 years ago and showing you know, some of my relatives, like distant cousins, my book, and the 9-year-old kids, they would be more in tune. They would know what was happening and how interesting a photo was, where as an adult, you might have lost those things, or you might have too many other worries to really be concentrating on finding these things. But it's pretty innate. I'd say there's a certain amount you can learn in order to repeat successes. You might learn that you did something well, and then you find out how you did that well, and to repeat it. Though I think it's pretty obvious that when things work or don't work, it's pretty innate. You put someone in a kid in a playground long enough in a sandbox, he's going to make a circle. You know, he's going to make a shape. He's going to learn to express himself. You put a kid with some pencils and paper, the kid is going to draw something, stick figures, and create a story. So these things are innate to human beings to create stories and to create art. Because there's really, in the end, no explanation for these things. It's beyond explanation. So visual literacy is, I think, something that we're born with.